Well, here we are. Our journey is about over, and we're going to be talking about the final exam. Now, as mentioned in the syllabus, the final exam is going to be an essay. I'm going to slightly tweak that up a little bit after having talked to many of you on what we really want that final exam to look like. It's still going to be an essay type format. Um, in that there's no multiple choice questions or anything like that. But what you're going to be doing is not necessarily a written paper, but I thought we would use some of the principles that we've learned from the index card. The book that we read throughout the entire course was the index card. And if you did kind of read the beginning of this, um, the introduction on how all this started, it started with an educator who made this all the principles you would ever need for finance on an index card, which I believe you can pretty much do. And for those of us that purchased, if you got the hard copy or even I think the paperback as well has a copy of the original index card that he used in there that you can tear out. But that's his index card, which again I think the author's index card, which is pretty fundamental stuff and applicable to everybody, and you can use that for inspiration if you wish. But I thought, what if we did something similar to that, kind of a personal financial statement or a personal financial declaration? Now, I wanted to get rid of the word statement because there are actually financial statements out there that are completely different, and I didn't want to confuse folks out there if I said put together a financial statement. So let me show you what we're going to do for the final. I think you're going to like it. And hopefully this is something that you use in this class. You keep it, you print it, you keep it with your financial documents, and you revisit it every year or two. It's something that can help you focus on these things that you want to do with your life, especially in regards to finance. I think just writing things down, it changes your mindset on how you think about things. Now, you may not achieve them, perfectly, but at least you've written them down, and it will tend to guide your actions. When you don't have any kind of guiding structure, then you could end up making a mistake. Should I buy that? Should I lease that really expensive cool car, or should I drive my other car into the ground? This may make you pause for a moment and go, I really can't afford that leased vehicle, even though it's beautiful and it would have short-term emotional impact for me. The long-term emotional impact of buying something that I really can't afford isn't good. So this, you may be, by writing these concepts down, may make you pause and think or change your actions to give you more longer-term benefit. So there you go. But none of us are perfect. I'm not perfect, but you just got to keep persistent, consistent, keep going forward. All right, but how to do that? So we're going to write down some of these essential items that you find that have resonated with you over this course. Don't necessarily pick the ones that the author did. You pick the ones that you feel are important. So let's take a look at what we're going to do. And I'm going to give you a template to make things even easier. So we're going to do a personal finance declaration. Simply, of course, put your name and date in here. I envision you might even do these from time to time. Every couple of years, maybe revisit this and put the date on there of when you've done that. Either whether you print it out, something about printing physical copies seems to help as well. I don't know what kind of magic it is, but having that printed out, if you have your own personal office, a lot of us have a little personal workspace with a little bulletin board. Maybe it's something you put on that bulletin board. But we're going to start off with the categories that we have learned throughout this course. This course was designed, if you've noticed, these are actually from the modules that we had. So we had budgeting and savings, we had debt and credit, we had investing and planning, retirement, did a lot on retirement, housing and major purchases, insurance, education, career, and family. So what I would like you to do is in bullet point, format, with sentences, just not one or two words. You do have a complete sentence in here, but what action, what principle are you going to list? And again, pick something that's up to you. I will require that you have a minimum of 5. And as far as a graded assignment, we're going to have a minimum of 5 for each one of the categories I have listed here. So I have a minimum of 5 bullet points. Ones like retirement, you may have more. That's totally up to you, but you are required to have a minimum of 5 personal statements or action steps that would be under here. Make it meaningful. Budgeting and savings. What would be an example? I will maintain I'm just making this up, but maybe you say, I will maintain a monthly budget and evaluate that, every 30 days, something like that. I will monitor my spending, however you're going to do that. Again, whatever principles that you like. I know we talked about some things as far as, budgeting and savings. One of the items tossed out there was to use cash as much as possible. Not one that I particularly good at because I just hate getting cash, but that does slow you down a bit when you have physical cash. But maybe that's your thing. Maybe like, yeah, I'm going to use cash for my purchases as much. I'm going to give myself $75 for the week, and that's all I got. Whatever these personal statements are in this area, make them meaningful action steps that move you towards your goal. Okay, so there we go. Meaningful action statements or principles that move you towards your goal, not just like generic, will save money. You could start with that, but will save, 3% of my take home pay every 2 weeks. Meaningful action steps and principles that you find. Okay, so you're going to do 5 of those full sentences for each of the categories here, and that's it. So again, no right or wrong answer. I am going to be looking for just that you took some thought on this and extracted some principles from the reading, from the supplemental readings, from the videos, even from other external sources. And that'll be it. That'll be it for the final. Hopefully, it shouldn't take too long, but I will give you you will have an entire week to work on that, if not longer. And I will go ahead and have that. Of course, will be due on the last day of the class, which is Sunday in our final module. So please make sure it is in that Dropbox by Sunday at midnight on the last day of class. I will have to come in and grade them very quickly on the next day. But again, you don't have to write full paragraphs. You're just going to be doing these sentences, these principles and action steps that will move you towards your personal finance goals. All right, that's all we have for the final. Again, I want to thank all of you for being in this personal finance class. It's been a great group. I think, again, you've gone through all of this book. You've gone through a good majority of the Finance for Dummies book. We've had some great videos from Khan Academy and others throughout the course, and a few videos from myself. Hopefully, that you found some value in there, and that I think as you are entering a profession that's going to pay you well, and being good stewards of those financial resources. Hey, money is just a tool. There are people who get wrapped up into the accumulation of money just for the sake of accumulation, or they see money as power, which I guess it is. But I think a healthy way to look at it is money as a tool. Money is a tool that allows you to do the things that you want to do in life. And for most of us, that's at least provide for our essentials that we need: food, shelter, water, electricity, and then really provide for our loved ones that are around us. So that's the power of finance. It's not just the money; it's what the money can do for yourself and your own personal growth, and for the ones that you care about in your life. All right. Well, thank you for making this a great class. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me in our final week as you are working through your personal finance declarations. Thanks.